All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Sanusi Not Life. My name is Adewalaboke Jr. Please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be a hater. Today, I'm talking about Storm, one of the greatest characters in the Marvel Universe. As far as I'm concerned, the most powerful X-Men, period. As far as I'm concerned, she's top 3 characters in Marvel history in terms of powers. I think there's her, there's Captain Marvel, and maybe Hulk, depends on who you ask. But to me, Storm is probably the most powerful character in the Marvel Universe, and she's never gotten adjusted to that individuality of a movie. I mean, for too long, Marvel has always put her on the back burner. Yo, it's time to put her on the front burner, man. Well, I'm gonna do that today on this show. So before we get into this podcast and the things that I'm talking about, I'm gonna talk about her origins, her history, her powers, animation, comics, and of course, her future. Hopefully they do something with that. But before we get into this podcast, I want to thank our sponsors. This Sound Vision podcast is brought to you by A4 Capital Consulting, growing good business anywhere and everywhere. That A4 Capital Consulting take your business to the next level. That's A4CapitalConsulting.com for details, y'all. That's A4CapitalConsulting.com for details, y'all. And I got some good news. I just spoke to the president of A4 Capital Consulting, Adetaya Agboke, and he told me that these episodes, these podcasts that I've been bragging about, talking about, are coming down the pipe. They are coming, y'all. So it's going to be awesome. So A4CapitalConsulting.com, y'all. A4CapitalConsulting.com. And this podcast is also brought to you by Anadel Foot and Ankle. Don't live with foot pain. The Anadel Foot and Ankle make your feet happy again. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. As I stated before, I got my custom orthotics, y'all. I never wear any pair of my batas, which you know is my footwear line, without my custom orthotics from AnadelCenter.com. Go see Dr. Neri Onusode, the best foot specialist in the world. He will put you on this awesome digital machine. It'll scan your feet, figure out your diagnosis, and then they'll get you the right custom orthotics suited to your feet. You got to make your feet happy again, y'all. So AnadelCenter.com, y'all. AnadelCenter.com. So, y'all, as I stated before, today we're going to talk about Storm. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, the most powerful mutants in the whole X-Men universe. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a tie between her and Captain Marvel for who's the most powerful, because she is sick with it, man. And for too long, I felt like she's never gotten her just due. So today I'm going to talk about her origins, her history, her powers and animation, how she's been depicted in animation, comics, and of course, the future. Because we've seen her in multiple different movies, but I've never really, the movies were sort of like, I don't know how can I put it? They weren't all that and a bag of chips, but she was still in it. That's all that mattered, right? You know what I'm saying? But before we get this going, I got to show you all this poster right here. You know what I mean? This is what I sell at the shows. For all you Storm fans, I've sold a bunch of these. Look at that right there. That's Storm right there. You know what I'm sick with it. And let me see if I still have my other classic before I get to talking about this amazing character right here. I think I might have it in here. Maybe. Oh yeah. This is one of my first Storm drawings right here. This is when I first started. I was like, oh God, I got to draw Storm. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever done anything without drawing Storm. Storm aside from the fact that I just want representation of African American women in it, she's just an incredible character. I don't try to do things. I don't try to do things where it's about race or color. I don't have time for that. I just focus on representation. You know what I mean? Because that's one of the reasons that led to the creation of Cards of Assassin's Universe. I didn't feel like it was representation, so I'm going to do something about it. I learned to animate. I loved Adi, was a great artist already drawing, so I had to learn how to create characters. That's another thing, right? So, you know, that's why I've had this segment. In the past, I've done one on Blade, I've done one on Iron Man, and I've got subsequent characters coming down the pipeline on my podcast. So, you know, let's go with this Storm, man, her origins. As we all know, she's from Egypt, Cairo, you know what I'm saying? And I love the fact that Storm, the character, the name Storm itself, was from Egypt, Cairo. I don't know what made Stan Lee and the crew of artists that helped out in the creation. I'm not sure if it was Steve Ditko or maybe it was my brain is going blank right now. You know what I mean? But either way, they created Storm, and it was the first time I'd seen a superhero on an animation series that had powers like that. Like, her powers weren't limited. They were off the chain. I'm just like, whoa, this woman is incredible. So as you know, she's a child from Egypt. She was an orphan. And then this character named Mastermind or something like that, he was messing with her, using her to steal stuff to be a pickpocket. And then Professor Xavier was in Cairo at that time. So he happened to just I think it was called Master Thief. Master Thief, the guy who was having her do stuff, still super stuff. He was just using kids to do whatever. He just happened to choose her because she was an amazing character. She had powers, and so he took advantage of those powers. I remember even specifically this one episode of X-Men season 2. It's called Whatever It Takes. Her adopted son, Missionary, he gets captured by the Master Thief, and then she has to go back to Africa to free him. And in order to free him, she has to give herself up so he can capture her soul, her body. He was like a spirit drinker. And so the origin of Storm is very interesting and simple. And then her parents, I think both her parents died. Let me look in here. You know what I mean? Because she was an orphan. Yep, that's right. Both her parents died. So her mother was African and her father was like a European guy. And they fell in love. They had Storm. I think they both passed away. Then that's when she became an orphan, of course. And then that's when she's stuck in Cairo all by herself with no parents, no nobody, just herself, just living on the streets, do whatever. And then all of a sudden the Master Thief comes and using her. And then all of a sudden Professor Xavier comes to Africa and is like, you can join something and be part of the program. So even though you've never seen her as a beginning of when you saw Marvel Girl, Beast, Cyclops, and Iceman, she kind of was in the beginning. You know what I mean? Because she more came into the group with, if you look at X-Men, which has been around since the 60s, but the animation series was like in the 80s, early 80s, even late 70s. Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Kitty Pryde, they were all part of this group, man. But Storm just happened to be a monster. I mean, if I'm reading here, and yes, I'm going to show you all this. I love me some Storm. This is my big old X-Men catalog book. Anything X-Men, it goes down in this book. You know what I mean? My brother got me this gift, man. You know what I'm saying? He knows me. I'm a nerd of the highest order. He got me this like, Junior would love this. And guess what I got? I've had this book for a minute. Check that out. Storm. You know what I mean? Oro Monroe. She's a monster, man. You know what I mean? I'm first sitting here reading it. Storm, Orphan, and Goddess, Thief, Crusader, African-American Oro Monroe, better known as Storm, has filled many roles during her young life. She has the mutant ability to control weather around her. She can create rain, hail, storm, fog, even lightning at the will. She's got incredible powers. And of course, everybody knows she's claustrophobic. She doesn't like small spaces, which would make a lot of sense because when you're that powerful and you can spread your wings like that, you would not want to be trapped in a small space. So, that's her origins right there. Now, let's talk about her history in terms of the X-Men. She's the second in command of the X-Men behind Cyclops. She's been around animation series since the late 80s, maybe even early 80s. She's never really... The one thing about her history, she's never really been used correctly. Whether it was in the movies that was in the early 2000s with Halle Berry playing Storm, and then subsequently had another actress who played her in the X-Men Apocalypse, which I thought that movie was horrible. Oh, God. Now that Marvel's about X-Men, please remake all the X-Men movies. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? But Storm is a character with a history of even Age of Apocalypse, Days of Future Past. Let me see what else I got here. Hold on, y'all. Let me see what I can find. Because I'm about to find y'all some stuff y'all ain't seen before. I mean, Storm has been in a bunch of comics. Yeah, here's just an example of some of the comics she's been in. You know what I mean? And when I say comics, I'm going to show y'all some comics. You know what I mean? But her history is like one of a character that misunderstood, misplaced, trying to find her place. Even as powerful as she is, I always felt like she didn't know her place. Remember in the episodes of the X-Men, she had multiple episodes where she had this episodes in season 5, which was the last season of X-Men, called Stormfront 2-part series. She had this episode 2-part series against Savage Heart, Savage Land. You know what I'm saying? Her powers just completely lost control, and she was controlled by Sauron. I've always felt like her history was diluted. She was never allowed to be the powerful character that she was. Like, yes, and that had a lot to do with her being African American. You know what I mean? Because every time they had, like, even in Age of Apocalypse, X-Men Phoenix Saga, it was weird that she was in Dark Phoenix Saga fighting in space, but she wasn't fighting with them in the Phoenix Saga. That made no dang sense. I'm sure somebody was in the room like, why did we leave Storm out of Phoenix Saga? I wonder too. I mean, it makes no damn sense, but I'm here to correct that. If I ever got a chance to do a movie with this woman, oh my God. I can't think of how many great actresses would play this role so independently. Lupita would be great for Storm. Kerry Washington would be great for Storm. Those are just two off the bat, off top, that I think would be incredible women to play Storm. I mean, for too long, like, her history has been diluted, even in the Age of Apocalypse. Even right here, let me see if I can find her. Her love interest has been Bishop, but most of the time they always kind of attach her to a Caucasian male, which made no sense when you have all these amazing African American characters. Whether it's Black Panther, she was actually married to Black Panther as a queen. Whether it was Bishop from the X-Men, you know what I mean? But she needs her own history, her own direction, not to be anybody's psychic. She's too powerful. For too long they've made her a psychic. That's what I don't like about it. And to me, she's fifth level mutant. Fifth level mutant. There's nobody in the X-Men universe, not Magneto, not even Xavier. I mean, what are you going to do against a woman that can throw hail at you, snow, storm, fry you with lightning, thunder, all that stuff? Thor can't even get at her. You know what I mean? And she can fly too. And you know, when you have all that, I want to call it kinetic energy, you can build up strength. You know what I mean? So even in the cartoons, man, like, I always feel like her powers were limited. Like, she'd be flying in the sky, people would shoot lasers at her. You would think if this woman created a hurricane, nothing could touch her. But instead, she'd get shot down and then she'd fall into the floor. It makes no sense, but you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm not going to trip too much about it, but here. That's the history of Storm right there. I just feel like she's been convoluted, man. They could have done a better job. Let's see if we can find her. I know we got her in here somewhere. Because she's chosen, in this comic book, Chosen and the Forgotten. Oh yeah, she was chosen. You know she was chosen. There we go. You know what I mean? Age of Apocalypse. I mean, there was various animated episodes that she was on too, but that's the history of Storm. Now, in terms of her powers, let's talk about her powers so that way I don't miss nothing. She controls every element of the weather. Every element. Every element. We're talking about lightning, thunder, snow, rain, water even. She controls water. The things that water can do, she can control that too. I mean, this woman is a beast, man. I already told you she can create rain, hail, snow, fog, even lightning at a will. And I told y'all before, Storm's mother's name was Enderi, was the princess of the tribe in Kenya and descended from an ancient line of African priestesses. Also, priestesses who all whom had white hair and blue eyes. So it wasn't that she was married to a Caucasian man child that she had white hair. She was just born with white hair. You know what I mean? And then, of course, married to an American photography journalist named David Monroe and moved with him to Cairo, Egypt. So her mother married a journalist named David Monroe, and that's how she got the name Oro Monroe. You know what I mean? But Storm, so her blue eyes and her white hair didn't come from her Caucasian descendantship. No, it came from her mother, because her mother and then consequent grandmothers and great-grandmothers all had white hair. They were all priestesses, basically queens. And so Storm was a queen in Africa. What I loved about Storm was the history, was that, back to the history, in X-Men, the animated series from the 1990s, the way a character was portrayed got on my nerves. Like, she would always make these large speeches before she did stuff. It was irritating. I mean, it was infuriating. I'm like, look, why can't you use the powers without making a speech? But then in X-Men, X-Men Evolution, that was the perfect Storm. She was calm. She was beautiful. She was intelligent. She spoke, but she never spoke when she was using the powers. She just used her powers, which is I think they realized, when we were creating X-Men Evolution, let's not be ignorant. You know, that was a lot of Marvel's ignorance. They thought all sisters made loud speeches before they said something. No. Sisters don't need to make loud speeches before they say something. They just do it. You know what I mean? So, Storm, man, you know what I mean? But that's her powers. Her powers are incredible. Fifth level mutants. There is nobody in the X-Men universe that can touch her. In fact, there's nobody in the Marvel universe that can touch her. Only person that can even come close to the kind of powers that she has is probably Captain Marvel. Which is ironic. Two women are the most powerful women in the Marvel universe. And yet here we are. Storm has never gotten a movie. Makes no damn sense. She's always been put as a, what's this word I'm looking for here? Like a psychic. Not even a psychic, like a fifth part. How you take a mutant that can do all them cool things she can do and she's a fifth part? Makes no sense. But, that's Marvel for you. Y'all gonna have a chance to get right with that, man. You know what I mean? So that's her powers right there. I mean, just incredible. Flight as well. Don't forget that. You know what I mean? And not to mention, she can literally take the lightning and strike her own body and build a costume. So I think her costume itself, which is something I didn't know before, insulates her powers. Can you imagine how much electricity running through your body? It's insane currency right there. You know what I mean? So, that's Storm right there with her powers. Next up, the animation world, the animation series. She's been part of some of the most incredible animations, whether it's X-Men, the animated series from 1992 to 1997, 5 seasons of awesomeness, whether it's the X-Men of Evolution. Still, though, she hasn't been enough for me to be like, yeah. You know what I mean? And now that I'm talking about animation, let's see if I can find this. Let's see if I can find this X-Men for y'all. Animated series. I should be able to find it, man. You know what I mean? She's one of the incredible characters in the Marvel Universe. Animation, to be honest with you, Marvel has an opportunity to create an animation series based on her. I don't know what they're waiting for. It's like everybody's always worried about risk. You know, you need to take some risks. Let's see if we can find the X-Men animated series right here. Let's see here. Yep, we found it. Yes, sir. Let's play this X-Men. I'm going to show y'all two different ones. X-Men Evolution and then X-Men the animated series regular one. God, this cartoon is one of the sickest cartoons ever made. Let's give Storm some love so y'all can see what this amazing, powerful mutant she's been doing. There she goes. Yep. That's Storm right there, man. From X-Men 1992 animated series. Now let me show you X-Men Evolution. I mean, y'all saw it in the animation. Like I told you, it was the first time I'd ever seen a African-American superhero with powers. Like Lothar wasn't Defenders of the Earth, but he had no powers. She had powers. I'd never seen that before. I was just like, whoa, this is beast mode right here. Now let's show you X-Men Evolution. Now you're going to see the X-Men from the X-Men, Storm in the X-Men from the 1992s, then X-Men Evolution. I thought the one Evolution was better. I wish they could have done where they took the one from the X-Men Evolution and put it in the 1992 series. Now that would have been sick as hell. Don't get me wrong, the one from the 1992 series, like I told y'all, the thing I hated the most was that she gave too many damn speeches. It was infuriating. I was like, this is not what people want to hear from this woman, man. Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? So here we go, y'all. Yo, that's X-Men Evolution. Now, let's break down the difference between X-Men Evolution and the regular X-Men 1992 series. In the 1992 series, she was Field Commander, second in command. As you could tell when Cyclops went down on Captive Hearts on episodes like that, or maybe even Stormfront, or maybe even Savage Land, or even Dark Phoenix, you know what I mean? But then in X-Men Evolution, she was like a teacher, like a school teacher. And of course, her nephew Spike came to live with them at the X-Mansion. And Storm would tutor the students, whether it was Kitty Pryde, Cyclops. So Wolverine, Storm were grown-ups, and Beast were grown-ups. But Cyclops, Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, Spike were all at Kitty Pryde. They were all students. So it was awesome, man. If you've never seen X-Men the animated series 1992, 1998, please go watch it on Disney+. And if you've never seen X-Men Evolution, please go watch that on Disney+ as well if you haven't. Trust me, both are great animated series. I didn't think X-Men Evolution would be that good when I started to watch it. I was like, oh my God, this cartoon is awesome. Totally awesome. Honestly, X-Men Evolution probably could have went 6 seasons. But maybe they just want to stop it at 4 because, with cartoons, budgeting, and all this kind of stuff. But, that's the animation part of this, man. But what I'd really love to see is for Storm to get her own animation series. Completely. Find some actor, man. There's too many gifted actors out here. Where there's Lupita, Kerry Washington. Those are just my 2 favorites off top right there that I feel like would do an amazing job. You know what I mean? So, next up is the comics. Of course, I've already showed you Storm from this one right here. But she's been in a bunch of comics since the beginning. Let's see here. X-Men. You know what I'm saying? That's her right there. And guess what this book was? Apocalypse the Chosen. You know what I'm saying? Of course, let me tell you what Magneto says about her. How can one once worship as an African goddess concern herself with the fate of mere mortals? This one has ridden the winds and called down thunder and lightning to do her bidding. And yet, now she hides amongst the rest of Magneto's outcasts. Is her love for Quicksilver or Magneto's son that continues to fuel her need to pit against me? How can she deny the truth that she has lived? We are gods of this world and will ever be so. Even Apocalypse thinks she's a god. Yo, Storm is a god. Like, she's like Thor. She's way more powerful than Thor. So Marvel, get off your you-know-whats and fix this lady's character, man. Y'all got work to do. And here's another comic book. In this comic book, as you know, she's the leader of the Morlocks, right? She kicks Callisto's butt and takes over as leader of the Morlocks. Well, in this comic book special, her, Wolverine, Colossus take on Marrow. I'm gonna let y'all see it. Not too many people have this one. Yo, I be having comic books that don't nobody have, man. Check that out, man. Look at her taking on Marrow. Woo-wee! Look at that. And Storm whooped her, you know what, man. You know what I mean? Yo, this comic book right here, God, I've had it for a minute. This comic book's got to be at least 20 years old. Yeah, I do what I can to keep them right, man. You know what I mean? But Storm, she's been in multiple comic books. Let me see where I can find her. I mean, this is more of her right here. There she goes. That's her right there in the corner again. You know what I mean? Storm, you got this beautiful African queen. Use her correctly, man, and stop being a bunch of busters, Marvel. Give this woman a movie, man. You know what I mean? So, that's Storm right there, man. She's been in a bunch of comics. Let's see here. This specific episode puts her in the... Let me see if I can get her to... This is them again. You know what I mean? More comic stuff, man. God, Storm is so off the chain. Shoot, I'd write a comic book about her. What am I talking about? I ain't gonna weigh it up. I'll mess around and start my whole comic book my damn self. You know what I mean? Storm is just stick with it, man. Look at this. More Storm. You know what I mean? And then she's in another comic book. I got a bunch of comic books, y'all. She's in a bunch of them. You know what I mean? This is over here. In this one right here, this one's about Gambit. It's funny thing, Gambit and her were like brother and sister. She's always had that relationship with Gambit. She was probably out of anybody. She was probably the only person that didn't treat Gambit like he was an outcast. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. Let's see if we can't look here. Here we go. See? Her in another comic book right there. You know what I mean? Telling Gambit to use his conscience. You know what I mean? And then let's see if we can't get the beginning. Here we go. Storm, it's funny. Her relationship with every single member of the X-Men is different. You know what I mean? And here we go again, Storm coming in right there. God, Storm is so sick. She's been in a bunch of comic books, man. I always felt like her and Gambit were brother and sister. And then, of course, in one of the episodes, One Man's Worth in season 3, or maybe it was 4, she plays Wolverine's love interest in the future, where she has that spike hair. Because there's been different types of Storms. One with spike hair, one with short hair. I think she was even bald at one time, too. But if you're an X-Men fan and you love you some Storm, this is where it's at right here, man. You know what I mean? That's where it's at right there. That's Storm right there. You know what I mean? Then, of course, I'll show you the movies. You know all about the X-Men movies. The one where Halle Berry plays her, right? Halle Berry plays Storm. I don't think it's... The X-Men movies, it wasn't so much Halle Berry. This is the movies right here, as you can see. You know what I mean? Halle Berry did a good job. I thought Days of Future Past, Halle Berry really played Storm to the T right there. Except it was weird to watch her die when the Sentinels killed her. I was like, what? Sentinels killed Storm? Are you kidding me? Storm? Because in the Days of Future Past that I watched in the cartoon series, they weren't touching Storm. Storm was frying Sentinels. She was barbecuing them jokers, man. And this is what I mean. they destabilize and they minimize her abilities, her as a person, her ability, because you don't want her to overshine Jean Grey. Screw Jean Grey. She's boring. She ain't nothing without the Phoenix powers that they gave her. Whereas Storm is incumbent with this amazing powers of the elements. She's literally a walking element. You know how powerful you are when you're in elements? That's Storm, man. So, movies, man. And then, of course, the future. Marvel, I got news flash for y'all. Storm is a powerful elemental character. Please, in the name of God, can you please find an actress to play Storm? You got Lupita, you got Kerry Washington, and we know y'all got money. You know what I mean? So if you really want to be diverse, you can make a Captain Marvel movie, you can make a Black Widow movie, but guess what it's time for? A Storm movie. Time for you to make a Storm movie. So please, get your Storm on. Can we please get this lady going? You know what I mean? Storm is an incredible character. Look at that character, man. I mean, she's fire. You know what I mean? So can we please get this party going? So Storm is my topic today. I think she's an incredible character. As I recapped, I spoke on her origins, her history, her powers, the animations she's been in, the comics she's been in, the movies she's been in. Whether it was the first 3 X-Men's, then X-Men 1, X-Men 2, X-Men United, 8 Days of Future Past. She was even in, she wasn't in First Class. I don't remember being in that. You know what I mean? But you can redo this. And then, of course, she was in the Age of Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse. I know that movie was bad, but the way she was not a 4 Horsemen. Everybody knows the 4 Horsemen are Abyss, Holocaust, Mikhail, and Mr. Sinister. Storm is an elemental god. Like, Marvel had its chance to just get this X-Men stuff right, and they can. So hopefully they will, because Storm is an incredible character. Can we please get this lady where she needs to be? You know what I mean? So, that's Storm right there. So, that concludes our show for today. Look at me. I got to show y'all more Storm stuff. That concludes our show for today, man. You know what I mean? So, that's our show for today. But before we get up out of here, I always like to show y'all cool stuff. And it just so happens that I happen to have one of my cool shirts. I'm going to let y'all see it. And guess who is on that shirt? That none other than, yours truly, Storm. She stick with it. You can get these t-shirts. They're available for the ladies. This is a round neck one, but ladies, we got V-neck and round necks now available. Long sleeve. And this character Storm, you can get it on any brand of product we've got. Every time I create some products for the ladies line, I always got Storm. Come on, she's a beast. Check out the front. You know what I mean? Look at the back. Check out the sides. You know what I mean? So, this is what we're doing over here on Sanusi Vision, man. And then also, too, can't forget our Batas footwear, man. Low tops right here. You know what I mean? All black, baby. And whenever I do my shoes, guess what we always got? Art on one side and art on the inside. How many shoes do stuff like that, man? This is what we do at Sanusi Vision. We do cool stuff like this. Look at this. And then flip it over. Look at that, man. That's sick with it right there. This is what we do at Sanusi Vision. So, Batas footwear, low tops, high tops. And then, of course, we've even got the sport ones. So, SanusiVision.com, y'all. Then, of course, can't forget the phone cases. Always got to be the phone cases. The new flip phone cases. You got the flip cases, man. Check out all the art right there. Look at how sick that is. Man, I can't tell how many compliments I'm getting on these jokers. I mean, I didn't realize how cool my art was until I started putting on different products, man. You know what I mean? So this is what we're doing over here. Then, of course, glasses cases. If you love glasses, we got glasses cases right there. You know what I mean? Custom glasses cases. This is what we're doing on Sanusi Vision. And guess what else it comes with? Its own cleaning cloth. Yes, this is what we do right here. Custom cleaning cloth. You know what I'm saying? No streaks on your glasses. Just cleans it nice and dandy. I've had mine for 4 years now. And I've dropped these glasses cases repeatedly. I mean, they are shatterproof. And believe me, when I say I've dropped them, I've dropped them. You know what I mean? And not intentionally either. So, that's our show for today. We got to talk about Storm, the elemental goddess. That's as far as I'm concerned, she's an elemental goddess. She is sick with it. And that's why I had to rock my Escalade t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? I had to get a customized t-shirt to represent the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Rock my one mount female Escalade, leader of the carjack, excuse me. You know what I mean? But that's what we're doing here at Sanusi Vision. So, y'all, let's get up out of here. That's our show for today. But before we get up out of here, I want to thank our sponsors. This Sanusi Vision podcast. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to get one more thing because I don't want to forget. The Storm poster. Available on SanusiVision.com. If you want yours today, SunVision.com, y'all. The art is always there, man. I'm gonna show y'all both at the end of the day, so y'all might decide who y'all want to go get. You know what I mean? But that's what's popping over here on SunVision, man. So y'all, thank y'all for listening. Don't forget about it. I want to thank our sponsors. This SunVision podcast is brought to you by A4 Capital Consulting, growing good business anywhere and everywhere. Let A4 Capital Consulting take your business to the next level. That's A4CapitalConsulting.com for details, y'all. That's A4CapitalConsulting.com for details, y'all. And this podcast also brought to you by Anadel for the ankle. Don't live with foot pain. Let Anadel for the ankle make your feet happy again. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. And now, before I forget, don't forget to get your copy of the Carjack for Assassins bio book, because the first official Carjack for Assassins comic book is coming, y'all. It's going through its correction phase right now. I just read another round of it again. I'm like, every time I go through it, I'm just like, I can't believe it. It came out way better. It exceeded my expectations. Without tooting my own horn, but I have done a great job with this book. I've had some of my family members, because my circle is not that big, so when I show something to somebody, there are people that I know care about me and want to see my future be as bright as it can be. They were like, whoa, this is a game changer. What I showed them, they weren't expecting to see. I said, this blew my expectations as well, so I'm very proud of it, man. So, but before that comic book comes out, get this bio book, Carjack for Assassins bio book, available on SunVision.com. Tells you about all the characters in the Carjack for Assassins universe. Of course, the Carjacks right there on this side, and then of course you got the assassins, man. You know what I mean? So this is what we're doing here at SunVision, man. So y'all, I want to thank you for listening. This episode about Storm, the elemental goddess. I've been waiting a long time to do this episode. She's due her just dessert, and I finally gave her a shine today, man. Hopefully Marvel's going to do the same, because she's due, man. So thank you for listening. This podcast is produced, written, and directed by yours truly, Adewale Agboke Jr. Yours truly, you know what I mean? And please check out our website at sunvision.com. So all the cool stuff we got, from phone cases to glasses cases to t-shirts, like I just showed you, for men and women, long sleeve, short sleeve. And for the ladies, we got v-neck and round neck, because some of y'all like different styles, you know what I'm saying? And we got tank tops too now, custom tank tops. They are sick with it, you know what I mean? And please subscribe to our podcast at sunvision.com. As I stated before, our podcast has completely moved to YouTube, and then I stream it also too on Facebook. It's the future, man. One thing I learned is that people want to see and hear you. I might as well give them both, so I put it on YouTube, and it's working out for us so far, man. So it's going to stay working out for us, because I decided, I don't want to be on Apple, I don't want to be on Spotify, I don't want to be on Pandora or Stitcher, which is no longer around. And I'm glad I made that move. Not Stitcher's. We got Stitcher's no longer in service now, which is weird, but it's part of business, man. But I'm glad I made that move to go to YouTube. You know what I mean? So that's what I had to do, man. Move my podcast to social media, move my podcast to YouTube, excuse me. And it's doing fantastic, because people love the videos. I get a lot of compliments. And then on Facebook, it's insane the amount of views it gets. It's just doing a great job. So, and also please check out our social media platforms at Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, all at SunVision. And please, don't be a hater. Give us a 5-star. Don't be a hater when you check us out on YouTube or Facebook. You know what I mean? And please, don't forget to review us, rate us, give us a 5-star. Don't be a hater. And as always, y'all, continue to aspire and achieve. Have a great week. Stay safe, y'all. Peace.